History prefers clean stories, clear heroes, clear villains, clear endings. But real history is never clean. The decisions that shaped the world were not made only in wars, councils, or speeches. They were made in silence, in fear, in obsession. In moments history never recorded. Because power does not just change nations. It changes the people who hold it. Tonight, we're not retelling what these leaders did. We're uncovering who they became once power stopped being a responsibility and started being an identity. Alexander is remembered as the undefeated conqueror, a military genius who built an empire stretching across continents before turning 30. But behind the legend was a man deeply terrified of being ordinary. Alexander grew up under the shadow of his father, King Philip II. From childhood, he was told he was destined for greatness. Not success, immortality. This belief became an obsession. Alexander demanded that his generals bow to him as a god. Not symbolically, literally, those who refused were punished, humiliated, sometimes executed. As his empire expanded, his paranoia intensified. He began seeing betrayal everywhere. He drank heavily, he isolated himself. Several of his closest companions, men who had fought beside him for years, were killed based on suspicion alone. Alexander did not conquer the world because he felt powerful. He conquered it because he feared being forgotten. Caesar is remembered as Rome's greatest leader, but before power, Caesar lived on the edge of ruin. He was drowning in debt, crushing debt. Political failure meant financial destruction. Financial destruction meant social death. Public generosity was not kindness, it was strategy. Lavish games, public feasts, and political favors were funded with borrowed money. Power was not ambition for Caesar, it was survival. Crossing the Rubicon was not simply rebellion. It was a point of no return. Going back meant collapse. The dictator of Rome was in many ways a man with no safe exit. Fatih Sultan Mehmed is remembered as the conqueror of Constantinople. What history rarely explores is what happened after the conquest. Victory did not calm him, it isolated him. Fatih trusted almost no one. He ruled through fear rather than loyalty. Rumors were enough to justify executions. Advisors disappeared without explanation. He legalized fratricide, the killing of brothers, to prevent internal conflict, not because he was cruel, but because he was afraid. Fear of losing control shaped his laws more than vision. Suleiman is remembered as a just ruler and lawgiver, but privately he was emotionally vulnerable. His deep attachment to Hürrem Sultan reshaped the Ottoman court. Decisions once made collectively became personal. Trusted generals were dismissed. Old friends were executed. The empire reached its greatest territorial size. But the balance of succession was destroyed. Suleiman strengthened the state with laws. He weakened it with emotion. Nicholas II ruled Russia during its most fragile moment. He believed his authority came directly from God. This belief made compromise impossible. Warnings were ignored. Reform was delayed. Reality was denied. Nicholas trusted mystics more than ministers, faith more than evidence. While the empire collapsed, Nicholas withdrew emotionally. The Romanov dynasty did not fall because of revolution alone. It fell because its leader refused to see the world changing. Elizabeth I is remembered as one of England's strongest monarchs, but her power was built on emotional strategy. She cultivated affection without commitment, encouraged rivalry among advisors, balanced loyalty against jealousy. Elizabeth never married, not because she lacked opportunity. Marriage meant shared power, and Elizabeth never intended to share. Her image as the Virgin Queen was not purity, it was control. Lenin is remembered as a revolutionary thinker, but revolution for Lenin required absolute discipline. Censorship was introduced early. Secret police were established before opposition stabilized. Freedom was promised. Obedience was enforced. Lenin believed the state must reshape society, even if society resisted. Control came before equality. Stalin is remembered as ruthless. What is less discussed is how deeply insecure he was. He feared betrayal constantly. He slept near guards. He trusted no one fully. Friends vanished overnight. Officials lived in terror. Power did not bring Stalin confidence. It magnified his fear. Che Guevara is remembered as a romantic revolutionary symbol. But in reality, he despised weakness. He believed compassion slowed revolution. He personally approved executions. Che valued ideology over humanity. Suffering was acceptable, if it served transformation. Hitler is remembered as evil. What history often avoids is how psychologically fragile he was. He avoided confrontation, feared criticism, surrounded himself with loyalists. Disagreement was treated as betrayal. His inability to tolerate opposition turned insecurity into catastrophe. These leaders didn't just shape borders. They shaped the lives of millions, often driven by fears history never recorded. The most dangerous aspect of power is not corruption. It is believing you deserve it. This is global deep dive, where history is not remembered as it was taught, but as it actually happened.